So far, we've got Safaricom and banks managing to achieve a fine balancing act for the local bourse. What's your view on overall market sentiment right now and how it's affecting market performance?
Good morning, Alishia. Thanks for having me. I think the sentiments are still positive. I would say they're still a bit bullish considering the run we've had from late December to now. Looking at the commercial and services sector, we still have a lot of movement there from Safaricom. Yesterday moving about 25 million shares. We still have a lot of eyes focused on the banks right now, especially we have their full year results for 2010 due probably by mid-February. So I think sentiments are positive, and looking also at the indices, we have the all-share index trading only 5% lower than its all-time high of 107 points. We have the 20-share index at good levels of 4,500 points, which were experienced between July and August. So I think looking forward in the first quarter, we still have a bullish run. There's a few red flags here and there, but I think we'll be able to overcome this in due course.
Let's take a look at KCB within that banking sector, because it's at around 24 shillings. It's a hurdle that it's not been able to cross for more than 2 years. But given that it's trading at a steep discount to its peers right now, and that it's announced this very aggressive regional expansion strategy, would you be nibbling in at KCB?
Of course, I would actually look at KCB as one of the recommendations for this year. And looking at the banks, most of them are trading within 10% of their 12-month highs. Some are already trading at their highs. KCB at 24 shillings, I would say, is not that, okay, some would say it's discounted, but looking at the number of shares in the market, we had a rights issue. It's still a bit expensive, maybe going for another stock, maybe a no-brainer, let's say Cooperative Bank or Kenyan. But looking at their price progression, look at the stability, their dividend price ratio, I think KCB is still a stock to buy.
With KCB presenting possibly more, from a valuation perspective, we've got equity, Barclays as well, all continuing to see strong runs through this upward move or this optimistic sentiment when it comes to the local bourse. How much more upside are you factoring in for these players, even with that strong growth story in play, or are they starting to look a little bit stretched in your view?
I would not say that. It depends on the counter we are looking at. Barclays is far from stretched. We still, people have put the fair value of Barclays at 70 plus. KCB, on the other hand, trading at 24 shillings with a rights issue that had taken place at 17 shillings, still has a lot of potential. Looking at equity, which you mentioned, has a lot of room for growth. So, and also looking at the prospects of the first quarter, we expect the results to be much better than the third quarter and the last quarter before that. So I think we still have a lot of room. We could be seeing 20 to 25% gains.
Of course, earnings for these players highly correlated with GDP growth in the country. Another player where fundamentals are supportive of a run higher, but where that share price is struggling to gain momentum, is Mumias Sugar, to date seriously underperforming that raw sugar price action. What's the primary reason in your books for the divergence in trend we're seeing between Mumias's share price and the real sugar price in global markets at this stage?
Well, looking at Mumias Sugar Company, it has never really behaved in a manner that's consistent with what analysts say, because it tends to go the opposite way. Looking at the price at 9 shillings, 90 cents, 10 shillings, 15 cents, I think the stock is a bit unpredictable. Also, looking at the volumes that are moved every day, looking at the business it's dealing in, I think it's fairly unpredictable. We still have the COMESA compliance to take effect this year. We also have a myriad of other factors that affect sugar production, among which is the weather itself, which has been put in question for the first quarter. But going forward, I would put Mumias as a mid-risk level stock, and I would make that a long-term buy.
Just taking a look at the trading day ahead, Robert, anything specific that you've got your eye on at this stage? Because for the past 2 days, we've had Safaricom really dominating trading activity.
I would still insist on my earliest sentiment that the banks are what to watch. Looking at the banks and looking at their 2010 results due soon, I think I would be keeping my eye on them. Safaricom, on the other hand, I see it more as a trading stock. moves, changes within it are very minimal. So it's not something one would get into unless they are planning to get into with high volumes or get into for the long term. But if I were to pick 3 counters at random, I would say I would pick KCB, Barclays Bank, and maybe Equity Bank. And maybe if I was to pick one from the industrial and allied sector, I would look at Kenyan, which at 17 shillings is really a no-brainer.